Car parts.
Hey, welcome to the True Sports Card Show special edition here. Coming to you from the Sacramento Sports Card and Autograph Expo at the grounds in Roseville. Whitey Gleason, and while we're hoping to catch up with Emron Pilati at some point today, Emron's very busy working to keep this event humming, so we're grateful to have today. We got a couple legends. We got Jay Johnson from the Drive Guys, and I'm trying to get him to come on. He's like, no, I don't want to. And our guest of honor is all-time Kings icon, Jerry Reynolds. Welcome, Jerry. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Great to be with you. And, of course, Jay, obviously getting a chance to meet Lance Blankenship.
That's right.
Spud Webb dropped by. And, of course, the Spudster, one of my better trades for sure.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
One of the all-time good guys, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Spud will be signing at the Expo. Can I ask you, I happen to be, we're getting ready here, and you saw Spud, and you guys, I was very happy to see him. How's Spud doing? What was it like catching up with him?
Well, it's great catching up with him. Obviously, Spud looks like he ate the original Spud, but so he's definitely got many of the same characteristics. But as many of us as we age,
yeah,
you pound on a couple of pounds there. And I asked him if he could still dunk, and he said, "I don't believe I can now." So I said,
"Well, it's amazing that he ever could, right?"
Well, it's the most amazing things. I always told him I always remember seeing him in junior college at Midland, Texas, and I always never will forget. Like a lot of people that saw him for the first time, because the 6'8" center shot a turnaround jump shot, and he blocked it and went the full court and dunked it. And there's at the Hutchinson, Kansas National Tournament, there's about 8,000 people in the building, and I think everyone just like, huh?
Yeah,
yeah.
I know you've scouted, but I'm thinking that's the type of thing that gets your attention.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's some guys that are just so unique or special or something that just leaves a lasting memory, know.
Mm-hmm.
I always say that was kind of the first time I saw Allen Iverson when he was a freshman at Georgetown. They played Memphis, his very first game. And so, you'd heard all the rumors of how good he was and everything. But in 5 minutes, you said, whoa. This guy, this guy can't be guarded. He made quick guys look slow.
What can you tell us about what went into the trade for Spud?
Yeah, it was a case where I drafted the year before Travis Mays out of Texas. He was like the 14th pick, and we drafted him with the idea that we thought he could become a point guard, and certainly. At the end of his rookie year, we were pretty clear that that wasn't going to happen. And
it happens.
Yeah.
It's hard to learn to play point guard at the NBA level,
yeah,
isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And then, and he really wasn't that good at two guard either. He was kind of small. So
Yeah.
And so, we knew he still had a lot of people were intrigued by him because he's one of those guys that a lot of people were looking at. So it's a case where I think, admitting your mistake early and moving on and all that, which we knew we needed a point guard, and Atlanta, thought they needed something different, and they, of course, I think they waived him within a year.
Yeah.
And of course, Spud was terrific for us for 5 or 6 years, and
people still remember him.
And
he left a mark here.
The thing is, maybe most amazing about Spud was that he almost never got hurt.
Wow.
Small, 5, 6, or 7, and 135 pounds. But he was such a special athlete, you almost couldn't get to him.
Yeah.
I always, because everybody always assumed when he came to the league, well, he won't last because
he'll break down.
Somebody will hurt. But it just didn't happen.
Now, Jerry, you're filling in for Emron today. And I know that you as a broadcaster, coach, player, you've been in some pressure situations. But today, do you feel like Pete Myers kind of taking over for Jordan's starting spot with the Bulls, filling in for Emron? You personally?
A little bit, or at least say Randy Brown,
Okay, sure.
I might move it up a notch.
Gotcha.
But you can't. There's some shoes can't be filled.
Right.
Those are giant shoes.
The little shoes, but big feet.
Yeah, little tiny,
very
tiny shoes, but big giant feet.
That's right.
That's got a mush in them.
That's right. Here's the guest schedule for today at the True Sports Card Show, and Autograph Expo out here. You got 10:30. You got Lance Blankenship. You've already caught up with Lance.
That's
your best
great.
friends
Oh,
now.
great to meet Lance. What a good guy.
Yeah. 10:45. Max Schumann from the A's going to be here. 11 o'clock. Sam Perkins signing autographs.
Sam Perkins. Yeah.
We had a very long and interesting conversation with Sam yesterday. What a great guy.
Yeah, what a terrific player. You know, one of those elite players that sort of gets forgotten.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, he was one of those guys that was probably among the top 15, 20 players in the league for 10 years or more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I mean, never got up, wasn't he, he had to play, in college with Jordan, so he, and like Worthy or a lot of people that were maybe better than Jordan early, but they weren't better late, and that and that kind of always stuck with him, I think.
Yeah. One of the original stretch bigs, right? I mean,
Yes,
he could
yeah,
shoot it.
He could really shoot it, and yeah, he'd been one of those guys that in today's game would probably even be more valuable, because he could stretch the floor, but he didn't shoot a lot of threes, but he certainly was capable.
Mm-hmm. Whitey Gleason is Jerry Reynolds here at Sacramento Autograph and Sports Card Expo. So, yeah, Sam Perkins at 11 today. Willie MacGyver from the A's also at 11. 11:15, your chance to get an autograph from Spud Webb.
Yeah, man, you better come get it.
Uh-huh. He has left a mark all those years ago, and he's just left a mark on this town, as so many Kings have.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Spud, I was going to remind him that I always remember picking him up at the airport after we traded for him, and he basically didn't speak for the whole trip over to the camp.
That excited, huh?
Well, my wife and I picked him up, and my wife says, does he talk? I said, yeah, but he's not happy right now. He was pretty happy being a Atlanta Hawk. And then, of course, in his case, he really enjoyed it here. Obviously had his best career years here, and he'll tell you, it's the best thing ever happened to him. But he certainly wasn't a happy camper for a while. So we eventually had gone. It took about a week before we had legitimate conversations. I think once he got with Mitch and everything, then that became an awfully fun pairing, so to speak.
I would guess, Jerry, no disrespect to anyone, but given that this track record of the franchise here hasn't been great, that's probably not the only time you had to do that with a new player. Am I right? Where he came in and maybe didn't recognize the opportunity here.
There was more than a few.
Okay.
More than a few. And I'll say, and in general, after that happened, with only a few exceptions, I think players really came to love. The media always goes back and uses a thing. Somebody said, "Welcome to basketball hell" or something like that, and I think it happened, but I think it happened jokingly, and as I recall, it was Bobby Hansen that said it to somebody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they use different people. But
yeah, I'd heard Rudy Gay said that.
Yeah, no. Well, he may have, but I know that Bobby originally was the guy, and I always told somebody, I said, well, Bobby, it's one of those things that, as I recall, is somebody we traded for and is after a practice or something. I said, knowing Bobby, he probably had about 4 beers before he got out of the locker room. And so anyway, but I always recall, guys getting traded like Ed Pinckney, and he broke down and cried because he didn't want to go to Boston.
Yeah.
He played for the Celtics, who were, he wanted to stay. He and his wife loved it here.
Yeah, and of course the proof's in the pudding when we talk about all the players that have stayed here, have decided to make their homes here.
Their homes here. And it is. People that live in this area know it's a great area. It really is. Mrs. Reynolds likes it. That's enough.
There you go.
That
there you
pretty
go.
much has determined whatever wanderlust I may or may not have had.
There you go. Speaking of the area, I know that you're impressed by the grounds here.
I am.
In Roseville.
Yeah, isn't this something? I really didn't know it was here for a long time. And it's like, wow, all the events they can have here. And of course, Roseville's done a marvelous job, especially Old Town and Old Roseville. Of refurbishing this area, and then of course, West Roseville. You go out there and all the new subdivisions. It's a whole new world. And of course, we've lived here, my wife and I, for 40 years, and of course, there wasn't even a Granite Bay when we moved.
Really?
Yeah, just kind of started.
It was just Granite Pond.
Yeah, granite pond or granite water on the
Yeah,
road.
yeah, there you go. Puddle. Granite puddle.
Granite puddle.
Yeah. Yeah, we had Dusty Baker on yesterday. It's funny, we didn't know Dusty was coming through, and we did know that Bill North was going to be here. And apparently, Dusty said, yeah, I was Bill North's ride. I gave him a ride here. So then we talked to Dusty, and I bring that up because he also mentioned, he said, man, this is amazing what they've done here. in
Yeah,
Roseville."
no, it's I mean, well, everything I think here in Placer County. Of course, I'm not at all sure they wouldn't have been better in the long run building Golden One out in this part of Placer County.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Maybe
lot
they'll
of-
build a baseball stadium out here someday. Who knows?
who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Just the rest of the schedule today. I mentioned Spud Webb, 11:15. And these are the guests here at the Sacramento Autograph and Sports Card Expo. Justin Sterner from the A's, 11:15. Carlos Cortez from the A's, 11:30. Tyler Soderstrom at 11:45. Of course, the A's playing against Kansas City on the schedule. 12:15. Matt Stairs, who is the all-time Major League pinch hit home run leader. Greg the Hammer Valentine at 12:30, and then 1:30. Fred Biletnikoff.
Fred
today.
Biletnikoff.
Yes, yes.
Man, what a receiver, that guy. Whew.
Yeah, you being a Chiefs fan, maybe you weren't the biggest Raider fan, but
I've become a Biletnikoff fan.
yeah.
You know, since he doesn't play anymore. How's that? You know, great
Gotcha.
guy, and you can respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. The Raiders and Chiefs, and you know, my early chiefdom days. That was.
I kind of wore this jersey for you today. I mean, partly for you. I figured you'd appreciate Johnny Unitas, 1967 replica jersey.
I do appreciate Johnny Unitas. Obviously, one of the all-time greats. Another one of those great quarterbacks that wasn't even drafted.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
You know, wasn't drafted and played in semi-pro before he got a chance to play. And
I think the Steelers had him first, and they're like, nah, no, nothing here.
Pennsylvania kid.
Yeah.
From University of Louisville. Johnny U. I mean, yeah, he was definitely head of the game. And back in the days when you could really hurt quarterbacks.
When you could hurt quarterbacks and they called their own plays.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. Here's the guest list for tomorrow as the Autograph Show and the Card Expo wraps up. Frank Gore tomorrow, Ben Grieve tomorrow, and a couple people you're very familiar with, Jerry, Ruthie Bolton and Tank Thompson tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Ruthie, all-time great monarch and, all-time great female basketball player, period, and one of the probably best conditioned humans in the world. And and Tank, just the absolute best guy ever. And boy, said maybe the best screener in the history of setting screens.
Really?
Well, he screened them. They stayed screened. You know? Yeah, he definitely would rock their worlds a little bit. And,
Yeah. I mean, you see so many guys setting screens now illegally. Why do so many players? I know some of it has to do with the guard with the ball not setting up the screen, but why do guys commit so many illegal screens? Is it poorly officiated or poorly executed?
I think it's poorly officiated more than it's poorly officiated. But the other part is it's 90% of the time it's a guard's fault. Because they take, let the screen get set before you put the ball on the floor and try to use it. Because you want the defender to see the screen. That's the idea of the screen. And these dingleberries will take off, because they're so in a rush to get a shot up.
Right,
Before the screen gets set, and then the screener's trying to get their guy, and they have to maybe move just a little bit.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the NBA that I always wonder about. Why don't players let the screener set the screen? And the other thing is, I don't understand why there are so many baskets scored on inbounds plays under the basket. But it must have something to do with the three-point line now,
Well, I think the spacing is so much different. And, yeah, you are concerned about defending the three because every team, even out of bounds, is looking for a three-point shot.
Yeah.
And so, that's really changed, in the last 25 years for sure.
Yeah. So I know people are going to be asking for your autograph today. Speaking of sports cards and things, and we'll talk about the King some more and some other things going on, but you still get people sending you cards at home asking you to autograph stuff?
I do. I get usually a couple a week, and excuse me. And usually get about one every 2 weeks from Jerry Reynolds, the basketball player played for the Bucks. And
Oh,
different
okay.
things.
Yeah. So what's your strategy there?
Well, I always write a little note
Oh,
and,
that's nice.
and
Yeah.
say wrong Jerry Reynolds.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, and send it back. I don't
Yeah. Yeah.
want to have them lose their card, but they should,
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, I guess I could throw it away, but, or even sign it. They wouldn't know. about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless they got to try to get it authenticated. How about let's see. You've gotten calls on the road too, haven't you, for the other Jerry Reynolds?
I have. And yeah, when I was in Orlando, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7, or 7 or 8 years ago at least, and in my room, and some young lady calls up, the room and says, "Oh, Jerry, you're in town," and I said, "Well, dear, yes, I am, but I think you're thinking of another Jerry Reynolds," and she knew right away. So, "Oh, I'm sorry."
And then didn't you see one of your cards in the Basketball Hall of Fame once?
I did. It was the first, I guess, official. I'm not even sure what the name of the
Hoops, wasn't
hoops
it? Or the
cards.
Hoops cards?
Hoops cards. Yeah, and that they did was like 87 or 88, something like that, and they had the complete set of that season. Of every team and coaches and stuff on a big
In the actual Hall of Fame, on
in the
display.
actual Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went and stood by my picture. I was in there visiting, happened to be in there visiting. I was scouting in that area or something at the time, and went there and stood by it, hoping somebody'd recognize me. And nobody did.
But I'm sure Mrs. Reynolds was incredibly impressed by that. She had to be very impressed.
Oh, she was. She said, "You're not in the Hall of Fame. What are you doing?" I said, "Yes, I am."
There I am. There I am.
So
yeah.
So maybe most people wouldn't notice it, but it was in there.
Yes.
Not for the normal reasons that you'd be in the Hall of Fame.
It literally was in the Hall of
But
Fame.
it was
That's got to
literally
count. Yeah, that's got to count for something.
It counts for something in my mind.
Yes. Jerry Reynolds with us today. It's a True Sports Card Show, and we're coming to you from Roseville, the grounds. Sacramento Sports Card and Autograph Expo going on. But Media Day, once this thing wraps up, and big day today and tomorrow, and then Media Day is Monday, Jerry. I'm reluctant to ask you this because I know people are so tired of talking about it. But something may be happening here. We won't spend a lot of time on it. With your experience as someone who's been involved in some of these deals, you know what goes into it. Do you think the Kings have a shot at you-know-who, Jonathan Kuminga?
Well, it seems like maybe they're the only ones that's still pursuing it. It almost seems to me like, I guess, Phoenix maybe to a lesser degree. But, if in fact Golden State really wants to move him, and I'm not sure how much they do. I mean, I think they do, but I think the team they'd least like to see him move to is Sacramento. And I guess my real question,
Because of the proximity?
and the kind of it's a one-stage rivalry.
Yeah.
But still, it's a rivalry. And,
Yeah.
And so they would be concerned about that. Having said that, that's one of the things that would concern me if I were the Kings, is if in fact they would trade him to me.
Mm-hmm. I see.
I would say, whoa, you're willing to give us a guy that we think is going to make us better, and you have decided probably that he won't, or you wouldn't,
right,
or you wouldn't trade him to us.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you think about it, it's like, really, would the Clippers trade somebody to the Lakers that they thought would help the Lakers?
Well, they don't have a lot of options, though, do they? I mean, if they don't sign him, Phoenix supposedly interested in their package, as far as we know, wasn't great. So it looks like Kuminga maybe is forcing their hand because they don't want him to sign that qualifying offer, because then basically they get nothing for him, right?
Well, then he becomes a free agent, and they would either get nothing, or they could still offer him the best package. You never really know. I mean, things could change a year from now. Maybe Curry retires, or they do something, or Jimmy Butler decides to he wants to go somewhere else. because
No.
they're not
Jimmy
using-
Butler, he wouldn't do
Yeah,
that,
I
would
mean,
he?
I know it's
Come on, that's a
beyond the pale
stretch.
of thought that he might actually become unhappy, with the franchise.
I guess it's possible.
It's possible, I guess. So anyway, things could change, but you're right. I mean that, and to Kuminga and his agent's credit, I think they're saying, well, we're willing to bet on ourselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they'd prefer some sort of a deal, or they'd prefer to sign him to where they have at least a commitment for a couple of years, that sort of thing with team option and all that. So
Yeah.
we'll-
Hopefully, we'll know
Yeah.
something in a few
we'll
days,
know
hopefully.
something in a few days, but it sure is. I'm like a lot of the Kings fans. I know
Right.
I do a podcast for the Kings Herald and just read all the
Yeah.
fans on there, and I'm with them on the sense I'm really tired of it. Sign him, don't sign him,
Yeah.
or quit talking about it.
Right.
You know, I
and that's
mean,
on me for bringing it up, and I apologize.
well,
but I
you
just
should.
wanted-
Yeah, you should be a little ashamed of yourself for that one.
Another interesting aspect of that is you've got Malik, and it looks like the Kings willing to trade him, and the Warriors don't necessarily want him. Is Malik getting a little disrespected here? He's pretty good.
Well, I think he is. I'm pretty sure that Malik is probably not as happy a camper as you would want him right now. I mean, obviously he's an excellent player and has been very good for the Kings, and didn't have his best year last year. A lot of it, some of it's his fault, but some of it's not. You know, I mean, he was putting in some unusual circumstances, but I think the thing with the Warriors is they've got too many guards and two.
Yeah.
And like the Kings, and so of course nobody's got as many guards as Kings. And
No, no
they-
one has ever had in
No,
the
no.
history of.
I think if possible, they could maybe get rid of everybody over 6'3". They'd be.
Yeah.
You know. But so there's that, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not a good look if you're Malik Monk, that's for sure. You can't feel real good about it, and then with all the, say, with Schroeder coming in, who's certainly a good player, and he's going to play minutes, and then you got a Nick Clifford, a good rookie, and you got a lot of guards that need playing time.
Yeah. I think one of the things that worked against Malik last year is he played, as you know, more minutes than he'd ever played before. And he did a lot of that playing more of a position that's not really his primary position. I thought, my untrained eye, Jerry, I thought he did at times a pretty good job as a point guard. And I was surprised when the season was over and Scott Perry first met with the media. And he, the first thing he says is, well, we've never had a point guard. There was no mention of, Malik did a pretty good job, but we need help there. It was just like, we've never had a point guard. I thought that some of the things Malik did last year seemed like either they weren't appreciated or just that they weren't what the team wanted from him.
Well, I think when teams don't win as much as they expect to win or feel they should, and that's certainly the case with the Kings.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You start looking for reasons, and I think the fact that Malik didn't have quite as good a year.
He didn't shoot the ball as well either, did he?
But, I thought, my thought on it was, there was a stretch where Fox was injured and Malik played the point, and I thought he was quite good at that time. Now, once the trade was made, then really he didn't fit much like Domas. He didn't fit as well with the new Levine type thing, and so, I mean, that's just what it was. The whole thing didn't click as well once that trade was made, and I can't say it's Levine's fault, but for whatever reason, they didn't quite everybody get on the same page. I think it's a case of before Malik could basically control the ball a little more and felt more comfortable, but then you've added another guy who needs the ball, Levine, who's a terrific one-on-one scorer type, and then of course DeRozan's that, and Domas needs the ball, and poor Keegan gets to play statue in the corner.
Yeah. Jerry, I want to show you something here. Come on over. We have a lot of people selling items and bringing items over. Yeah. And there's a gentleman here who's showing a Larry Bird autograph to Jerry. May I show that on the air? Your bat? Yeah, the bat. Sorry, yeah. May I? Yeah. Look at this, Jerry. Oh, I don't want to do that. This is an authentic Nap Lajoie or Lajoie. Yeah. And he I think he won the batting crown in 1922.
I think he hit 424 or something like that.
I think you're
See?
right. Yeah. So, and this is authenticated, right? Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that. Yeah. So that's the type of thing you
I
see
tell you
here.
what, it'd be hard to. You'd have to be a pretty good hitter to square that up, wouldn't you?
Yes. Yes.
What?
Yeah. No, I don't, we don't want to take it out. We don't. We, yeah. 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 So we're here at the Sacramento Autograph and Sports
Well,
Card
bless your
Expo.
heart.
So you know
You're a
when
tough
you have
man.
when you have a yeah
Oh.
yeah yeah we just showed the bat there. So yeah okay. Jerry Reynolds has Nop Lajoie's bat. How's it feel, Jer?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I'd probably hit 350 with this.
Yeah.
350.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Jerry, by the way, outstanding high school hitter, right?
Oh, my God, they come miles around to see me.
Well, I've heard you had what the
Well,
high
my
school
dad
record?
did. My
Yeah.
dad did anyway. Yeah,
Oh.
he came miles around. Yeah.
Did you hit 350 or something? Didn't you?
No, well, I hit my 444 my senior year. I hit about 350 for my career, 4 years.
Yeah, that's what
Started.
I'm saying.
But like,
yeah.
which I've said, and you know, that was Indiana high school basketball or baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
Yeah, which really doesn't qualify. I mean,
Well-
California high school baseball and Indiana baseball is two different worlds.
Jerry, I heard they called you the Nap Lajoie of Indiana. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true.
You know, they call me a lot of things. That really wasn't one of them.
Okay. All right. My mistake. Yeah. Good to see you guys. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I have a question for you about the Kings offense. Now, I don't know anyway what the Kings are doing offensively. But if Doug Christie, let's say he wanted to run something similar to what they ran when he played, could you do that with this roster? Could you run, something based on Princeton motion with this roster?
Well,
And I don't even know if he wants to.
I mean, I don't know if he wants to either. I think you could but I don't know if it'd be your best lineup. I think Reynaud, the rookie, is a pretty good passer.
Yeah.
To have two bigs with Domas certainly would fit into Rick Adelman's offense of the old days, because as a high post passer and ball mover, I mean, he's probably every bit as good as Vlade and Webb was, if not better, and at that. But I thought last year when they had Valanciunas would have been the perfect time to try that because Valanciunas was pretty good a passer and could spot shoot and everything, but they didn't really try that much. But I think it would be a way to get the ball out of the dribbler's hands so much.
Right. Keep it moving.
You would force cutters, and that was always a great thing in those days with Rick's offense, where you're going to hit Vlade, who's looking to make a pass, and then Page and Christie, they're going to have splits.
Right.
It just takes away a lot of unnecessary dribbling.
Yeah.
Which, as you know, we have some unnecessary
little bit.
dribbling.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Could you, maybe I'm daydreaming here, and Emran's going to join us here. I want to make sure we're set, Emran. I saw Jay here a minute ago. Could you run, in theory, the split action with, like, Zach doing what Page did, Domas doing what Vlade did, and maybe DeRozan doing what Bibby did? Is that?
I think you could. I really do. And I think that would be, certainly go back more even to a little bit of variation of the true Princeton offense with just one big high.
Oh,
People
yeah?
always forget that the two bigs, that was a Rick Adelman thing.
Okay.
He took the Pete Carrill offense at Princeton, which was a one big high with the different splits where one guy would move to one side for splits and then the other.
Yeah.
And so
Okay, I see.
So I
A little
think with
basketball lesson,
Domas, that would
Yeah.
that's probably the way you
Yeah.
ought to do it.
Yeah. Now,
So-
Jerry, my remembrance of the Princeton when Coachy was coaching at Princeton was a lot of backdoor stuff. Is that accurate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't they beat UCLA one year? Just backdoored them
They
to
sure
death.
did. They backdoored everybody to death. I mean, that was the thing too. Of course, didn't have the shot clock for a lot
Yeah,
of the time,
yeah.
or even late. It was a 35 second, and they just wear guys out.
Uh-huh.
Just cut. Finally, as you know, from your defensive days,
Yeah, it's tough.
You kind of lose track of them. I mean,
Yeah.
in my days, I'd lost track of them early. But,
Right. I never even tried to keep track of them. It's
yeah,
too much work.
How would you say, hey, switch,
That's absolutely. Switch! Help!
switch,
Yeah.
help.
We don't talk about it as much anymore, but there was a period where one of the topics that came up all the time in sports pages and sports talk was, what's the hardest thing to do in sports? Everyone has traditionally always said hitting a baseball, which I get. But to me, basketball, like especially closing out on a guy, but guarding a great offensive player in basketball, to me that is one of the absolute hardest things to do because he knows what he wants to do, and there's only so much you can do to stop him.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't have. You can't stop them. You just hope that you make their shots a little tougher, or they just miss easy shots.
Yeah, that always helps.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, I think with the great players, you're just hoping they have bad days. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't stop Michael Jordan. You maybe can take away a few possessions that he
Right.
can have.
Yeah.
And maybe, maybe make him take a shot or two that's tougher than he wants to occasionally. And then the real truth is you hope he misses the exact shots he wants.
Yes.
Which sometimes happens.
Jerry, when you watch football and there's a pass and the receiver's open, and for whatever reason it's either a bad pass or he drops it, and the DB goes, yeah, like he did something.
Yeah.
We're going to see that in basketball someday. A guy will miss an open shot, and the defender will be going, yeah.
Well, it's just probably a matter of time till we have full 5-man celebrations on every miss shot.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Or every 3-yard run or whatever
Yeah,
it is,
yeah.
where everybody, the teams just break down and run to the end zones and slide around or something. I think that's certainly as an old man that is well overdone.
Then I'm an old man too, which I am, but I'm with you on that.
But it's
Yeah.
just overdone. I mean, I get emotion for actual great accomplishments
Right, yes.
and meaningful
You
things.
score a touchdown. Wow, that's good. Unless you're down, 7 scores. But even then, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, it's a touchdown.
Before we get back to the Kings, I wanted to see what you thought here of a couple of sports memorabilia items. They won't be here this weekend at the Autograph and Sports Card Expo, but I just happened to find there's a couple of things up for auction that I'm wondering if you would be in on, Jerry. I know you would at least appreciate them. First of all, there's a uniform worn by Wilt Chamberlain during the NBA Finals 56 years ago. The jersey and shorts, which he wore, and I think he wore them, might have been when he played against Bill Russell in the finals. It's part of an auction. The uniform is expected to bring a 7-figure price. Wilt's 1972 NBA Finals jersey, which he wore in Game 2 and Game 5, sold for $4.9 million in September of 23. So I wanted to see what you thought of that, and I wanted to let you know because that sounds like something that you might be interested in.
Well, I would be interested. The $4.9 million seems a little high for me.
So 4 point. You go in at 4.3.
I think Mrs. Reynolds would approve. $75, $80. I could probably do that.
And that's the type of expenditure that'd be hard to keep from her, huh?
Yeah.
You get put on a different card or something. That doesn't work.
I'll be honest with you. Probably my finances of $4.9 million wouldn't show up on any card that I've got.
Okay. The other one is a pair of Michael Jordan's game-worn and signed Air Jordan 7 sneakers, and he wore them at the Garden on his blind free throw. This is from the Bulls' 96-90 win over the Knicks in 1992. And Michael Jordan, after making his first free throw, he was going back and forth with Patrick Ewing, and he told Ewing, I will sink the next free throw with my eyes closed. And he followed through. And so these sneakers, much more affordable. Pre-sale estimate of $400,000 and $600,000, Jerry.
Well, that's getting closer to my price range, but I'd have to pass on that as well. But
Yeah,
you'd
I have to close my eyes at that price.
I'd have to have a little more evidence that his eyes were actually closed. He might
Ah.
take, just a little peek before you get into shooting motion, and then close them.
Yeah.
You got a pretty good idea.
That's right. That's right. We talked a lot yesterday with Sam Perkins. Again, Sam Perkins is going to be here today. He's signing at 11. But, of course, he knows Michael Jordan very well. And I asked him, I didn't ask him, Jerry, that old question about who's better. You know, I said, I'm not going to ask you that. But I asked him, is it possible that without Michael, we would not have had Kobe or LeBron? And he thought about it, and he said, well, you know, LeBron was kind of a different type of player. But he said he can remember seeing Kobe, and he said, you know, rest in peace, Kobe. He can remember seeing Kobe, like, walking like Jordan. And he thinks that if it wasn't for Michael showing the way, Kobe wouldn't have had that to try to achieve. You know, it gave Michael set the bar for Kobe and showed him this is a level that you can achieve.
Oh, I think so. I think, you know, young players as they're coming up always kind of pattern their game to some degree after the, you know, heroes or greats or whatever. And I think you definitely, you know, I think you definitely see that. And certainly in his case, and he kind of admits that obviously Michael was his hero and really, I think, learned, I mean, really part of his work ethic and his competitive spirit was kind of copied after Michael, too. You know, which Michael was probably ahead of the game at that time. Nobody worked as hard and probably was a hard edge for his teammates, and certainly Kobe was, too.
Yes. You coming on, Emron? You got a minute? Okay. Jerry Reynolds, Whitey Gleason here. Coming to you from Roseville, the grounds. And normally, of course, this is Emron's show. And here he is. He's running this show this weekend, Emron Pilati. Hello.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah?
And we just got started. In the back there, we have approximately 7 guys back there signing autographs. So we have Spud Webb. And then the A is Carlos Cortez, Willie McIver. We have the legend Lance Blankenship, who is a
He and
listener.
Jerry are best friends now.
Are they?
We're buddies, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, we got to get him to sign some stuff, Jerry. Jerry's like, excuse me, we're bonding here. We're bonding here. So, yeah, thank you, Jerry, for coming on and covering for me.
Well,
I don't think I'll ever get the show back now. Thanks.
no, I mean,
I'll wait
nobody
for you to retire again.
nobody can fill your shoes.
They're very.
I mean,
you don't want these feet. They hurt and they owe a lot of money today.
How's it gone so far? I mean, yesterday, a big day to get things rolling. Today is the biggest day, right?
Yes, it is. So yesterday we had Matt Noakes, we had guys signing in the back, but we'll talk about them today. So we had Matt Noakes, we had Lloyd Mosby, we had
Billy North,
and Terrence Long.
Yeah.
And the craziest part about it was Billy North's driver. So what happened was, and those that listened to Drive Guys yesterday know this, Bill North said, my driver got us a little lost, whatever, right? So did you hear the story, Jerry? What happened?
Well, yeah.
Did you guys talk about it on air?
A little while. It was a while ago,
yeah. Did you talk about it on air today?
Yeah, a while ago, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
The point of what I'm getting at is, in comes a guy with nacho chips. He's got cheese and chili on it, and he's sitting there eating. He's like just walking and goes, hey, where's the back room? And it's Dusty Baker, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And he goes, I'm the driver for Bill North.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, that's big time when you got Dusty being the driver.
Dusty probably
He's staying
like,
at his house, right? I believe he's staying at his house.
I think what happened was he said, listen, if you just buy me chips with some cheese and chili on it, I'll drive you, no problem. I guess that's the cost of it. How's the show going so far?
We're having a lot of fun.
Good.
It's flying by. And
are you guys talking about Kuminga?
we touched on it. Jerry said I should be ashamed of myself for bringing it up.
It's a funny joke because every day, every hour, it's talking about Kuminga. If this doesn't happen, apparently, Kings fans are going to lose their wits. So.
But, of course, we also talked about Spud, and Spud is signing today, right?
Yes, he's signing at about 11 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we've got them going. So I'm going to head back to the back. Thank you for covering, Jerry. I appreciate it.
Always great.
You're
great to be with you and around you and in for you.
You want my shoes?
You
don't want them.
No, I don't. No.
Emron, are you going to be on the Wilt Chamberlain jersey and shorts from 56 years ago? His last jersey sold for $4.9 million. Are you interested?
I will bid. Let's see if I can get the high bid.
Okay, because Jerry's out, just so you know.
Yeah, I just went out at the.
Thank goodness I don't have to compete.
At the $80 mark.
Well, I was going 83, so let's see what happens. Thanks, guys, for coming.
All right, thank you, Emron Pilati. And if you can, come on by this weekend. It's a lot of fun, great atmosphere. Yeah, today, Lance Blankenship, Max Schumann, Sam Perkins, Willie McIver, Spud Webb, Justin Sterner, Carlos Cortez, Tyler Soderstrom, Matt Stairs, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Fred Bolitnikoff. And then tomorrow, Frank Gore, Ben Grieve, Ruthie Bolton, and Tank Thompson.
The tanker.
Yeah. speaking of collectibles, Jerry, I need some advice from you. And it's okay if you don't, I know you're not a huge collector, although you have some really nice items that I've seen at your house. But there's some cards that just came out this week, baseball cards, and they're called Bowman Chrome. And there's some special cards in there. They're rookie cards, and if it has a red rookie label, here's the deal. If that rookie wins the Rookie of the Year award, Topps gives you $100. Okay? But if you keep it and that player then goes on to win the MVP award, at some point it's worth $300.
Okay.
If they win a second MVP, and again, you have to keep it through this, it's worth $500. A third MVP, or Cy Young for that matter, $700. And then if they eventually get into the Hall of Fame, they give you $1,000. They offer you $1,000. So if you have, say, Nick Kurtz this year with the A's, he's almost certainly going to be the Rookie of the Year. Do you turn it in for the 100 once he wins Rookie of the Year, or do you save it for some of the big money down the road?
Oh, I'd be saving it.
Would you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, because first of all, I can live without $100. So,
okay. Yeah.
So
although it would help you bid for that Wilt Chamberlain jersey.
it would, go a long way there. Wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely save it because I think there's a chance that his career is going to lead him to other things, and if it doesn't,
You still have a really nice card,
if
huh?
You really got a nice card, and it's probably always going to be worth $100 or more.
That's really smart. See, I was thinking, no, get rid of it while you can, if you
Yeah.
can. But I think you're right. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to collect, I think your first thought ought to be collect.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. That's genius. I didn't see it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I want to ask you one other thing about sports. I don't know if you heard about this. This was this week, Thursday maybe. Cal Raleigh hits his 60th home run club. There's a guy in Seattle. He gets the ball. And that ball's worth a little bit. Kid. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yes. He gave it to a kid. And then the town, and Cal Raleigh ended up giving him some bats and balls and things. And the kid wanted to give it to Cal Raleigh. I think he should have it. So the kid got something. But can you believe that? Somebody in this day and age gets the 60th home run ball and gives it to a kid. I applaud Glenn, the Mariners fan.
Absolutely, that's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
really, I mean, obviously, it's a thing that's going to have tremendous value. But that's very humanitarian and and really gives you hope that there is a future
Yes,
of mankind.
it does. And we could use that message
and
sometimes.
we could
these
use that
days.
message, and maybe now more than ever.
Yeah. And I love it because, here we are at the show celebrating autographs and cards and things, and I love them. But sometimes it's good to have a reminder that, hey, it's just a baseball or it's just a little piece of cardboard. It's good to be reminded of that.
It is, and boy, what a story the big dumper is, Cal Raleigh, isn't it? I mean, I always said, not just the 60, but the catcher. He's a catcher.
Right.
Which I think 49 was the most a catcher to ever hit.
Sounds like you'd be leaning towards giving him the MVP award because he was a catcher.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
And a switch hitter. The most, Mickey Mantle had the record for switch hitters, 54.
Yeah?
And so, he's my childhood hero.
Really?
One of them.
The Commerce Comet?
Commerce Comet. He's one of them. Eddie Matthews was the other.
Oh.
And so Eddie Matthews, Mickey Mantle. Those are my two guys.
How did I know Mickey Mantle was everywhere? How did Eddie Matthews of the Braves, right? How did he
Milwaukee
become
Braves
your guy?
that time. Well, Sport Magazine basically had him on the cover.
That was like the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
speaking of collectibles.
And anyway, his second year, he hit 47 home runs the year before. And then my dad took me to see a Cubs game, an uncle, and so playing the Braves, and so my dad was a big Cubs fan, and of course, being a obstinate teen or whatever, I couldn't be a Cubs fan because he was. So
oh, really?
I became a Milwaukee Braves fan and an Eddie Matthews fan, and
that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Of course, when the Braves left Milwaukee to go to Atlanta, I turned on them.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's why I think Eddie Matthews ended up managing Hank Aaron briefly.
Yeah, he did. They were lifelong friends, or more or less. I mean, I know Hank always said the toughest thing when he first broke in. I remember him telling me, I worked at his sports camps
Yeah.
a couple of years, and he said that just batting behind Matthews, he said, man, I got thrown at a lot because Eddie was hitting so many home runs. I was just a young player, and it dust me off.
Dusty told us yesterday, Hank Aaron kind of mentored him. And he said Hank Aaron would tell him things when Dusty was a young player. And he'd say, do you understand? And Dusty would say, he'd go, yeah, I understand. And he said, I didn't understand. But he said Henry knew that. And he would tell him, look, I know you don't understand, but what I told you, just remember it. Because at some point it's going to make sense. And Dusty said, and that happened a lot.
A lot,
He would
yeah.
show me something when I was young. I was like, what? And then later on, it's like, oh, that's what Hank was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously one of the all-time greatest players, Hank Aaron, and one of the all-time nicest gentlemen as well.
Yeah. We're at the Sacramento Autograph and Sports Cards Expo here at the grounds in Roseville. Jerry Reynolds filling in for Emron. I think Emron might get Wally pipped here. I think you might be coming in here, and then it's like,
I may have to push him aside,
Yeah.
But,
Well, and it's not even you. It's. I think the people may demand it.
Oh, they may demand it. Yeah, there may be riots in the street. Hopefully it's mostly peaceful protest.
Yeah. Jay, you don't want to come on with us at all today? Come on, brother. Yeah. All right, here he is.
There we go.
Yeah. He's setting us up today, and he's busy this weekend as well. Jay Johnson, are you having a good time?
I'm having a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm around sports fellas, it's a great time.
Especially baseball, right?
Especially baseball. Got to meet Lance Blankenship.
Uh-huh.
I've actually bought a ticket for Matt Stayers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm politicking to see if I can get a jersey for Lance and not buy it, but it's okay.
That's good strategy,
Yes,
though.
I'm hoping.
You might need to get Kyle Draper on the case.
You
He
might be right.
specializes in
Should
that.
I shoot him a text? I should shoot him a text. Huh? But no, I got to meet Lance. We had an opportunity, legend, to speak to Lance. Thursday, Wednesday?
I think
Wednesday.
it was. Yeah.
I think it was Wednesday. And so I go back there, and one thing about what we do, and both of you guys could definitely tell me better than I could ever tell you. You never really realize who is watching, who's listening, and who enjoys you and who dislikes you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have a little bit of all of it.
Yep.
So when you walk up to somebody and they're like, oh, man, I literally listen to you guys every day. He was like, I love you guys talking baseball, you and Whitey, and so on and so forth. And then he literally is stopping his autograph session. I'm like, no, please keep going. He's like, and he wants to talk, and so it's just a beautiful thing. I
Yeah.
love that. I really
He said
love that.
he talked about your sound. He has a really unique sound. I had to look him up on the internet. So Lance Blankenship
Right.
was looking up you on the internet.
Well, it's that down south twang that I kept from college. I have no idea.
Ain't
what
nothing wrong with that, buddy.
There you go.
I know.
There you go.
You
So-
got a lot of influences, huh? You got maybe a little
Very
Louisiana
true.
in there and some
Yes,
Texas
sir.
and
Yeah,
some
Louisiana,
California
Texas.
influence.
My
Yeah.
family is originally from Louisiana, Oklahoma, and then living in Texas for 6 years or whatever it was. Yeah. Beautiful, man. How you guys feeling today?
Oh, great. I mean,
Yeah.
this is, just being with Whitey. I mean, first of all, that's a thrill right there.
Right. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Very
Jerry's carrying the show today.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about how I feel.
Got a chance to talk with Spud, man, that was good to see the Spudster again.
Yes. I saw you guys embrace a beautiful hug just
Yeah.
many a times and travel and.
Yeah.
And Jerry traded for him. I'd forgotten. Jerry actually traded
What?
for him.
Yeah,
That was you.
Yeah. I traded Travis Mays for him,
Travis
and
Mays, yeah.
which worked out very well. And like I was telling the first, me and my wife picked him up at the airport, and of course he wasn't real happy to be here. He didn't speak to me for about a week. Yeah, because my wife said, "Can he talk?" I said, "Oh, I think he can. He's just not going to."
You've been a part of a lot of different transactions, women, men, NBA, WNBA. Is there one that comes to mind?
Well, there's
Like
obviously
just
the
one that really sticks.
yeah. I think the Mitch Richmond for Billy Owens #1, and then
You
on the
fleeced them, legend.
and
Yeah.
then the women get trading Kedra Holland Corn for Kara Lawson.
Awesome.
That was, I thought, 2 home runs,
Right.
total
Yeah.
home runs.
Do you ever sit back and like, yeah, I fleeced their ass. I got him. Mitch Richmond for Billy O. No disrespect to Billy Owens.
Yeah, he's a good
He was
player.
a good player, a legend in college for sure. But
Yeah.
just I got Mitch Richmond for Billy O.
Well, it's a little bit like, the Kings getting Chris Webber for Mitch Richmond. Jeff Petrie did that deal. But, I mean, sometimes you're looking for teams that are ready to move off guys for probably a lot of wrong reasons, or even at the right reasons to get them at the right time. In other words,
Yes,
I
sir.
knew with the Warriors, they felt they had to get more size. And of course, well, that's fine. We'll give you more size, but we want a guy we knows. Big
Size or no
time.
size. Hall of Famer.
He's shorter, but he's a hell of a lot better.
That's what I'm talking. Do you just how does that happen? I've talked to plenty of general managers, and I know now it's completely different than
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
early '90s. But do you just pick up the phone and you say, "Hey, who was the general manager at the time for the Warriors?"
Don
Don
Nelson.
Nelson,
Don Nelson.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Don,
Nelly. Hey, Nelly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you guys are in the motion of looking for somebody. We might be a Huckleberry. Like, how do you go about the
Well,
conversation?
that was one of those things to where I knew, we had the third pick, and I knew, I had kind of somebody that kind of knew Nelly, and
Sure.
and I knew that he really wanted that pick to get Billy Owens. So basically, I just kind of touched base. I said, well, we would consider moving a pick. I don't know if you're interested or not. That's our
Absolutely. Just throw it out there.
But if
Dangle
you
it.
were, and he'd say, well, we have some interest, and which he did. I knew what he'd do. Threw out a bunch of jibber jabber, a bunch of, this ninth guy, man, he's really going to be, something, all that, and so, I said, okay, well, that's not what we're looking for. And he said, well, think
He
about
probably
it.
tried to trade Jepson for the pick straight
Well,
up,
we
right?
did. Well, we got Les Jepson in
I
the
know-
deal.
I know,
We had
I know.
To, we had to, but as Les always pointed out, that Mitch was a throw-in. Actually.
Right.
Yeah, Les, I don't believe so, but yeah. So anyway, that's how it starts, and then you kind of come around. Well, I knew how bad he wanted the pick, and
Right.
Billy. Then I said, well, the only way you're going to get it is Mitch Richmond.
Mitch Rich. Wow.
I said, if you want a star to be, the next, Larry Bird or whatever he was projected to be, then we got to have the rookie of the year and
Absolutely.
a true star.
Absolutely.
And-
Big Smooth walking in, Jerry.
Yeah, and
Big
so
Smooth in the building.
yes, sir. That was one of the all-time best players
Yeah,
for
he could
about
shoot it,
10 years, man. Like Swidey said, one of the first stretch bigs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Nice guy, too.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that? He and Worthy and Jordan on the same. That's a pretty good college team.
Yeah, that's probably considered one of the greatest.
Well, it was source talent,
That Dean Smith was a genius.
Well, like I say, that's what they always used to say about Dean Smith. He's the only coach that could hold Jordan to 20 points a game.
Yeah, right.
That's what an old player might invent is
This
Bob
thing not working
McAdoo.
for you, man?
No, it's good.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, I think
McAdoo.
you're on that one.
McAdoo told me. He said, Coach Smith, he held me to about 22 a game. He said I could have got 30 easy in college. They loved him, but that was.
Can I ask you a question real quick, Legend?
We're talking, and I apologize,
Oh,
we can't
please,
see
Whitey.
Jay. Yeah,
Oh,
please
no.
go ahead.
I didn't mean to
Jay.
hijack.
Yeah.
when I
No,
talk
I'm
to the
glad you are, but I
legendary
just,
Gary Reynolds.
to people on YouTube, it's like, hey, isn't that Jay? Where is he? So he's just on the other side here. Yeah.
When you've been to plenty of shows and things like this, I would imagine over the years for the Sacramento Kings, when you have an opportunity to sit in front of the people who adore you and love you and support you over the years, does it do anything to you? Does it? I mean, I know I don't want to say that because I don't want to make it sound like you're cold-hearted or anything, because you're not. But is there anything extra to it when you're doing an autograph show or you're mingling with your fans?
Oh, I mean, there's never been a time I didn't appreciate it. Somebody would consider my autograph or picture valuable.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I still kind of, I'm always surprised, to be honest. It's like, really? you want a picture with me? Okay, that's not. I mean,
It's
you know,
nothing big.
I spent most of my life with nobody. I could have paid people $10 to take a picture with me. They wouldn't do it. So, you know, I mean, it's like, boy, you get, you know, it always disturbs me when some people get so puffed up with themselves, you know,
Yeah.
like, really? You know,
Sure.
there'll be a time when nobody's going to care.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, you know, your co-host over here, man, he's hot this weekend. Can't
Well.
keep people off of him.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a couple people, they wanted autographs and pictures. And, I mean, you know, everywhere
just-
I go.
Yeah, there's just a lot of people here that listen to the station. That's all. So, yeah.
No, well, you know, I mean, there's no doubt that as the years go, you become bigger and bigger, you know. And then finally, it'll be over.
Yeah, right. Hey, yeah, never mind. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, this guy now. Yeah.
You'll go around the grocery store. You'll wear a sign. Hey, I used to be Whitey Gleason.
I actually had somebody say that once. I bought something at a PetSmart, and I was using my membership card, and somebody, one of the ladies goes, "Hey, he used to be Whitey Gleason." I kid you.
No,
not.
I've had people do that to me. You know, like didn't you used to be Jerry Reynolds? I said, you know what? I still am.
Right.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah. Jerry, can't thank you enough for helping us out today.
Well,
thank you
it's
very
been
much.
a blast.
Legend.
Yeah.
Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Sign any autographs today?
None today. Nobody. You know, they're after bigger fish, man.
I don't know. I think we got some people over here that are waiting for Jerry. We hope to see you at the Sacramento Autograph and Sports Cards Expo, and we'll talk to you next week on the True Sports Cards Show.
True Sports Card Store, yeah. Card Store.